Hey, it's Greg with Residential Investor Network, and so excited to be with you today. I have on the call with us here today Terry Nauer from the state of Delaware. How you doing today?
I'm fabulous, Greg. How are you?
I am good. I'm so happy to catch you here. I know a lot of people are investing in real estate right now, and tons of them are flocking to your area. Wanted to talk a little bit about that today because you have quite the system in place for people to get passive income. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Before we jump into it, tell me a little bit about your area. Where all do you serve?
Sure. I served the Sussex County, Kent County, and the lower half of Newcastle County in Delaware, and then also the Eastern Shore of Maryland.
Very good and great markets, of course. And I know you have a dream team in place, which handles virtually everything for a real estate investor, which means it's truly passive. They're not buying a job for themselves, but you're working with investors not only locally, but nationally and internationally as well, because you have such a great system in place. So, what I've done is I've actually put together some slides to show everybody a little bit about how that works. Terry, with your permission, I'd like to show them a little bit of our secret sauce here.
That would be great.
All right. So if you've considered investing, maybe you're taking money out of the stock market or other risky investments. You certainly know there's a lot of wealthy individuals that are doing very well in real estate. I want to show you how you can make that happen here. And most importantly, do it in a completely passive way, hands off for you. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here. Okay, so you should see my slides here, and we're going to talk a little bit about really the truth about why so many wealthy people put money into real estate. Now, best of all, we're going to talk specifically about how they're doing this in a completely passive way, which means you can own homes outright in this area without any worries of management or taking up any of your time or creating another job for yourself. You already know that wealthy individuals always weigh their decisions against risk, right? So when you can get a great annual return and there's little to no risk, it's such a great opportunity to investigate and consider that opportunity. That's certainly the case with owning rental real estate. And we've never really found anything better than owning residential rental properties, particularly when you can do it without creating any work for yourself at all. I mean, virtually no work on your part. So let's talk a little bit about that. So, frankly speaking, when you think about the fact that half the people in America own a home and the other half rents, of course, you know those rentals are owned by someone. There's someone earning a passive income from owning those properties and renting them out to the tenants who have to pay rent every single month, year after year, in order to have a place to live. Now, you know how volatile other investments can be as well. And frankly, they could even go to zero. If you look at the stock market or anything like that, if you own stock in a business or you're subjected to economic changes and that sort of thing, of course, that increases your risk. But people will always need a place to live. And think about this, as long as you've been alive, have you ever heard of rent prices going down? Of course not. There's pretty much standard rent increases year after year. Heck, since the pandemic, rent prices have went up over 30%. Now, great properties in great areas attract great tenants and they provide great cash flow on a consistent basis. That's why we don't do the cheap stuff or the less desirable properties. I've always said the bait you put out will attract the type of fish that you want to catch. So, let me tell you a little bit about what we've been doing here for our wealthy clientele. I think you're going to find this very interesting. There are investors from all over the US that are acquiring a small portfolio of homes right here in this area. Some may want to get just one property or possibly two, while others are more interested in acquiring a dozen homes or more to get outstanding cash flow numbers. But the key here is that it's 100% passive investments because we handle virtually everything. We have what we call our dream team here, where we handle absolutely everything. As a licensed real estate agent, we find the absolute best properties and ensure the terms make sense. And it's a great rental area and it's one of the best opportunities out there. After we've done all of the due diligence, we create a full profit package which we share with all of our members. And whichever investor is fast enough to be the first one to get the info back can secure that property for themselves. Now, I'm sure you know that many of the best properties are sold long before they ever hit the open market. You're not going to find them online. And we get exclusive access to the largest number of those homes right here in this area. Of course, the home would be 100% in their own name or their LLC. So this isn't any type of partnership or anything like that. You own it, it's 100% yours. It's just a home that you own, whether it be in your personal name or in your LLC. And we get it to the closing table, then we hand it off to a one of our preferred property managers here, and that team handles everything for you. They screen for the best tenants, they collect the rents, they handle any repairs as they come up. They essentially do everything, and the money simply shows up for you. That's a passive real estate approach, and that's why so many wealthy individuals take this route. It's truly a hands-off approach for you, and fortunately, this happens to be a great area for you to invest in, regardless of where you live. We work with people right here in this area that might live anywhere in the US or even internationally. As we've told everyone, the last thing you'd ever want to do is try to invest in homes in your own area, because then you're creating a job for yourself. You're driving by the property, you're worrying about things. Just let a manager handle it for you and invest in areas that are best throughout the country. Now, I'll tell you, we do have a very specific approach that we utilize with the type of properties we'll advise our members to buy. And we can talk a little bit more about that on the phone, but this adds to the assurance that you're going to get a great annual return on the property year after year. And frankly speaking, that's why investors don't really worry too much about the sales market going up or going down, or economic changes and that sort of thing, because this is a rent collecting asset that goes on regardless of those situations. And it's unlikely over the next decade that you'd want to sell that property or get rid of something that's making you a profit every single year. So the real estate current value or the market itself doesn't really matter so much, because what we're doing is we're acquiring a rent gathering asset. Every single month, you're going to get rents regardless if home values go up, go down, stay the same, we get into a recession, anything that happens, it's going to produce profit for us here. So as we always say, the rents just keep going up. And the great news is that we have a dream team of affiliated businesses in place here to handle virtually everything for our investor members. I mean, this is what we do. So everything from a new investor that wants an attorney or an accountant, to the folks that have invested in homes that need a property manager or a rental property insurance agent, and even lenders that can show you how to leverage your portfolio for maximum profit. We have absolutely everything already set up for you. You don't have to worry about trying to find a good team. We handle everything. And let's talk about that for a moment. We only work with investors that are members with us. Now, don't worry, it's totally free. There's no catch or anything, but we want to ensure that all of our members are well vetted and understand exactly how we work, what type of properties we recommend, and how you're going to make your money. Those that have their own ideas aren't going to get access to these properties, because we want to do everything we can to ensure every single investor does very well following our approach. So we ask that you do follow that, not that you have your own ideas on how you want to do things. We get some very exclusive properties, and we get opportunities at those, and they're only shown to our investor members. Nobody else will ever even know that they're available. They never get listed publicly. We go out and specifically market to motivated property owners that may need to sell immediately, so that speed of sale is more important to them than the price of sale, right? So it might be a divorce or a probate situation or a pre-foreclosure home. But most importantly, we want to make sure it's the right type of home in the right area with the right numbers. And this is what we do all day. This is our business. Those properties that are vetted out will then have a complete analysis put together, and then that is sent to our members for consideration if they happen to be interested in acquiring another home at that point. That's what we call the profit package. Well, once we've done all of that, we've put everything together, we essentially send it out to all of our members at exactly the same time. Now, You might be wondering, how do we get paid if we're not charging a membership fee or anything like that? Well, we're licensed real estate agents here. So we get paid the normal sales commission that the home sellers are paying. That means you don't have to worry about paying us a fee or even a monthly fee to find properties or anything like that. They're selling the home to our investors and they pay us a typical real estate commission. Now, keep in mind, when we hand that over to a property manager, the property manager charges you a small fee each month, but they handle everything for you. So, how do we get membership access? I know that's the big question. It's a pretty simple process here. We just start with a phone call together. I'm sure you'd like to at least investigate the opportunity here. So, we'd simply set up a phone call or even a Zoom meeting so you can learn a little bit about how this works and how we can talk about getting access to the best properties and maybe even creating a small portfolio for yourself, getting one, two, three properties, maybe even more, but bringing in that cash flow on a consistent basis. We'll talk about how these properties work within our system, and you can get your own questions answered as well. So we can show you how investors can earn some great passive income on an annual basis here. Now, if that does feel like a good fit, we'll simply add you to the list to receive the profit packages with all the details on properties as they become available. There's no cost, there's no obligation or anything like that. So essentially, you get totally free access to at least consider some properties with all the facts in front of you. And best of all, you'll never need to do any work on your own. It's all done remotely by our professional team here. So you get your monthly statement, you get your monthly check. That's how it works. We generally find that the initial phone consultation takes, 15 minutes or so, maybe 20 minutes, just to tell you a little bit about how we operate here, ensure you get all of your questions answered before we add you to the membership for access to the team, as well as all of the investment properties. And I think when you start to see a few of these, you're really going to be excited about this. So a lot of times we'll have a new investor member that just wants to take a look at a sample profit package, right? Send me one. I want to take a look at it. I want to see what I'm looking at here. So that way they can see a little bit about how we work and what to expect. We can do that too. If you just give us a quick call or a text here, we can simply send you a sample profit package so you can get a general idea of what this looks like. But again, I think it's a really, really good opportunity to put some money into the real estate market. You own it yourself 100%. You can do whatever you want with it. But obviously, it makes sense to utilize our dream team here to start bringing in consistent cash flow and never create a job for yourself. They handle everything. This is what we do for investors. And frankly, we do the same thing all over the country. This is a very unique area here because the numbers really make sense. So I would encourage you to have a quick phone call with us here, maybe even get a sample profit package. And it's really going to make a difference on how you look at investing in real estate and building wealth in a totally passive manner. So with that, let me turn our cameras back on here. All right. So as you can see, that's a very specific approach to getting a much higher ROI and doing so with passive residential real estate investments. It's such a great opportunity to get into that rental market and get that cash flow on a monthly basis. Now, step number one, we've got to get you qualified as a member. Being an investor member with us here is totally free of charge, no obligation. But once we know you're qualified, we can start getting you some sample profit packages. When you see that package and how well we've done the research, broken down that property, you can very quickly decide, do you want to add that home to your portfolio, or do you want to pass on that one and wait until the next one comes available here? So it all starts with that simple phone call. If you call the number you see below right here, you'll actually speak with Terry personally, and we can get you qualified as a member. Terry, tell us about this call. First of all, is it really free of charge, no obligation? And then what happens on that call? What are you looking for?
Absolutely, Greg. It is free of charge. I'm sure they will have lots of questions and I'll have some questions for them. And as long as they're a qualified investor, then we'll be happy to get a free of charge profit package out to them right away.
Absolutely. And, getting that sample profit package is really exciting for a lot of investors. We always like researching things and kind of finding out how is the money made here? What's my risk factor? That type of thing. When you see these sample profit packages, you're going to be pretty impressed with how easy it is. And more importantly, you'll know exactly why so many investors get involved in real estate. It's completely passive and it's very predictable as well. So grab your phone. While you're watching this video, I want you to call the number you see below. You'll speak with Terry personally, and we can get you signed up as a member with us so we can get you access to some of these properties. Go ahead and check it out right now. I think you're going to find it very, very helpful for you. Terry, I know you're crazy busy in today's market. I appreciate you taking some time with us today.
Thanks, Greg. Make it a great one.
Absolutely. We've helped countless investors all over the U.S. and abroad to invest right there in the state of Delaware. We'd love to have a conversation with you. I think you'll be very impressed. We'll talk soon, and bye-bye for now.